stressors. So anything that would bring up the stress reaction is called a stressor. So we are confronted by chronic stressors, daily hassles like commuting to work, traffic jam, office palaver, home palaver, financial pressure from the family, this. So every day we are confronted with chronic stressors. Now the danger is that once the brain senses there is stress, whether it's psychological or physical. So I want people to understand that it's not only when you see a physical threat, it might even be psychological. Like maybe there's a threat to your job that, I even don't know whether I'm going to lose this job at the end of the day. That's a psychological threat. The same cascade of reactions are initiated. So the danger is when these chemicals linger for too long in the body, they begin to wear the system.
So what are those things that can make the chemicals linger in the body?
Yes, it is your continual perception of threats.
Even when you've left that.
Yes. It is when you still perceive there is threat. So the thing is that let me explain like this again. Now, two people might be facing similar threats, let's say, or challenges. Maybe at work, maybe the bosses are demanding, for too much. And this other person does not see it as a problem. He sees it as a challenge that I can handle. But the other person sees it as a problem. So there's a difference between challenge and problem. So the other person sees that as difficulty. Now, to the other person, the stress system is going to be activated more because he has interpreted that thing to mean threat. But to this other person, the stress reaction is still going to be on the level of good stress, that this is not a problem, I can handle it, it's just a challenge. It boils down to your perception. Yes, it boils down to your. That is why you will see some people, maybe 2, 3, 5, 10 persons going through similar conditions, and their outcomes will be different. So it depends on what you allow to come into you. Anything can happen in the environment, but it is an interpretation that you give to it that will now determine what is going to happen in your body.
So let me deviate a bit. For one who has been pressured by maybe work or family to do a certain thing, and then the pressure continues, and he perceives it as problematic, and goes ahead to commit suicide.
Yeah. So if you have answered the question, he perceives it as problematic.
It's possible to just disregard everything and say, okay, this is something that will pass.
Exactly. So your perception of a stressor depends on your attitude. It depends on your beliefs. That is what it boils down to now. It depends on your value system. It depends on so many things that you hold dear. If you think that if I don't earn 100,000 in a month, then my life is off, then it is going to be that way because you have interpreted that to be a financial difficulty, and whereas somebody earning even 30,000 is happy and doing things. Yes, because at that time when just imagine it. Just imagine that tiger scenario now. You can't pay attention to any other thing. Your vision is so narrowed. Even there will be opportunities. That is why when you're under stress, when you're under the bad stress, you won't even see opportunities in challenges. But if you treat threats as challenges that you can overcome, then you'll be able to think wider. You'll be able to think outside the box. That is why some people, despite challenges, that is even when they thrive, because they don't allow that thing to get into them. Because if your body is under constant stress, the bad stress, there is no way you can't function optimally. Because when the brain is tensed, when the brain is hypervigilant, there's no way you can function well. And aside that, it will, like I said, it will start wearing on your systems, because these chemicals are not supposed to linger in the body for too long. That's why we say that stress is a proxy killer. So stress can actually add more years to your age. That's why you see some people, maybe they are 30 years old and they are looking like 40 or 45. Stress can actually make you age faster. Stress can add like between 9 to 17 years on you. You see how terrible it is? Stress can actually precipitate some illnesses in you, like hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, cancer. Yes, stress is that dangerous. So, but people say, I'm stressed. They don't know that stress is not just in the head. There are biochemical concomitants. When you are stressed, there are some chemicals that are released into the system. And that is the way our bodies are built. But those chemicals are meant to help us to survive. Yes, they are not supposed to linger for too long. But in this present world, human beings, it's about, our value system, our lifestyle. We do things that we're not supposed to do. We put priority on things that are meaningless. So you can imagine somebody who is saying, oh, by the age of 35 or 40, I want to have gotten my own brand new Range Rover, or this, I want to build a house here, and this. What are you pursuing? Yeah, mentally putting yourself under stress. Yes, life is stressful, but I tell you that the majority of stresses that we face, they are self-made. Yes, they are self-made, honestly. You can imagine, you see, this COVID era, at least people are resting. Before COVID era, our people used to do every time party, owambe. I'm not saying it's not good to celebrate, but there are some people that would always be hopping from one party to the other every weekend, and they'll be buying ashwebis. And these people, I'm not saying there's anything wrong in buying ashwebis. They will buy ashwebis that they cannot afford. When you do things that you cannot afford, or you want to feel like them, you want to look like them, you want to put on a facade, you want to appear to be what you are not. And it's not only concerning parties, even on social media, a lot of people would be doing more than they can afford. And who are you pleasing? You are just putting yourself under unnecessary stress, I tell you.
Okay, now let's talk about when the stress comes, when the stressors are constantly around you.
Yes.
It could be somebody you work with. It could be a situation in the home front. They're constantly around you. How do you handle it?
Good.
Is there a way to handle it?
Correct. Yes, there are ways to handle it. Number one, acknowledge that there's a stressor. Okay. Don't deny. Yes, acknowledgement. Because you see, if there's a problem, the starting point is acknowledging that you won't have a problem. So acknowledge that this thing is bothering me. This thing is a stressor. Number two, what can I do about it? That is it. Is this something that I can avoid? Is it something that I can bend? Is it something that I need to improve upon? Like, for example, you're at work. Maybe your boss is annoying you, or somebody is irritating you, and you see that, oh, maybe it's because you make a lot of mistakes in your job. Then improve. So that is yes, I can do something about it. That this type of stress will ginger me to becoming a better person. Now, there are some things that you can't do anything about. Nothing. You can't do nothing about it. For example, you are working and you are not earning as much as you desire, but there is no other job available. You just have to find a way of making that job interesting for yourself. Otherwise, you will be under stress every day. So reinterpret that situation to yourself. Tell yourself that, oh, this thing is just for a while. It is just that, okay, I'm building my career, it's building me. At least I'm gaining experience. Even if I am not so much financially rewarded, yes, at least I can still eat. I can still afford my basic rent. I can buy few clothes, this and this. Oh, what I may not be able to buy now. Yes, living within your means. So I want people to know that there's a difference between needs and wants. Human beings want so many things, but they don't actually need it. Needs are the things that are important for our existence, for our survival. Now, the problem is that a lot of times it is our wants that put so much pressure on us. Sometimes, if you can eat morning, afternoon, and night, and you have a shelter, it might not be the best, but you can still get by. You can actually say, yes, I'm still going to get there. It may not be now, but I'm working towards it. But a lot of times we put ourselves under too much of pressure, and it is not just in our head, it affects the whole system. So stress management begins with acknowledgement, then asking yourself, what can I do about it? Then there are other things too. Yes, reinterpreting the situation. Then there are some other stressors, like traffic jams, all these daily hassles and whatever, that because the chemicals are there in the system, you need to expend those chemicals. So you can do exercises. Exercises will burn off those chemicals. So when you exercise, you are not only exercising to keep trim, You are not only exercising to look like Lepasius, or what do they call Moses. You are not. Moses is not slim at all. No, Moses is huge. So you are not only exercising for the sake of beauty. It helps
to expel.
Yeah, to expel all this. Yes, all the your tense muscles and everything that you cannot, when you are in the traffic jam, you cannot run away, but you are stressed there. Unlike when you see a tiger, when you run, you have actually expended that energy, that tense muscle and everything that your brain has initiated. So exercise is very, very good. Then another thing also is that people should observe good sleep hygiene. Good sleep hygiene. Don't be doing media into the night. You see, there are some chemicals that are released at night. You see, God created day and night, and there's a reason why. And even within us, we have biological clocks that work with the sunlight. So at night, there are some chemicals that are released. At night, you're supposed to be sleeping so that your cells would rejuvenate and prepare you for the following morning. But some people will watch films into the night. They sleep
because they can't sleep.
If you have poor sleep, then that is another problem.
Okay.
That is another problem. Do you understand? We haven't even talked about the signs and symptoms of unmanageable stress. Yes, insomnia is one of them. Insomnia means you cannot sleep well, or you sleep and you wake up, you feel unrefreshed. That is also insomnia, because there are different types of insomnia. Some people get to bed and they cannot go to sleep on time. Some people sleep and then they wake up earlier than usual. Some people sleep normal hours or even sleep long hours and they wake up unrefreshed. All these things are related to sleep problems.
Could it be a habit, really? Could it be a habit we inculcate?
Yes. Especially in this digital age. And one thing I also must mention is that digital stress is also a major contributory stressor in our lives.
What is digital stress?
Digital stress is when there is too much overload of technology. You're always reading the news. We have information overload. You Google you Google for an information and it brings thousands. You don't even know where to start. That's information overload. And every day, it can make Yes, and every day we are bombarded with news. Oh, this thing happened here. This thing happened here. WhatsApp, social media. This. We're always news. We're always hearing something. We're always looking at something. We're always watching something. So, and people are always on their social media. So there's something called digital intoxication. A lot of people are intoxicated. A lot of people are addicted to this digital. Yes, you see, technology is fine, but human beings have tended to misuse it. They have tend to they now allow technology to control their lives, and this is very, very dangerous. So it's good that part of stress management is to do digital detoxification, like you do for drug addiction. You set aside time. You don't need to be monitored, except that is what your job demands. There are some jobs that people that work on social media will understand that. But you have other jobs, you have things to do, and you're always taking your phone. Every time the phone makes ping, 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 ping. Why must you be doing that? Yes, so you can allocate maybe a specific time in the day to check your emails. Except your job requires that you must always check your mails for messages, or you must always check your social media. But if it does not require that, you don't have to be doing this every hour. These are sources of stress that we can cut off. Declutter your plate. Don't do more than you can afford. Don't cut your coat according to the size of cloth you have. Not even according to your size, because sometimes, for example, Moses is on the big side and you have 1 yard of fabric. You make your cloth and wear it like that. Even with it's gonna be tight. As long as it doesn't kill you, wear it that way. Yes, that is life.
Let's talk about there's a lot to talk about.
Yes.
We don't have enough time to do all of that. I wish there could be a second time, but that's not for me to decide. That's for the producer to decide. But dealing with stress now, we've learned that stress can actually lead to death.
Yes, definitely.
It can bring about illnesses.
Correct.
And if not well handled,
it can worsen symptoms. It can actually precipitate symptoms. Can actually begin illnesses. It can fast forward illnesses.
Okay, and we've also learned that one of the ways to deal with stress is, first of all, acknowledge the stress.
Exactly.
The existence of the stress.
Yes.
And then
don't deny.
ask yourself the question: what do I do to solve this problem? If you would have to be better at what you do,
Yeah.
go ahead and be better. Or better still, you reinterpret the situation
Definitely.
that you're in.
Yes.
If it's pressure from home, because I know some people are going through pressure. Some young ladies are going through pressure to get married. You could just find a way to reinterpret it. You're taking your time
Yes.
to make yourself a better person. So when you meet the right man,
Exactly.
he will meet you prepared.
Yes.
That could be an interpretation.
Then apart from that interpretation, Moses, you should also tell yourself that you are not living your life for others.
Okay.
That is very, very important. Because when people put pressure on young women to marry, and then you marry Mr. Available instead of Mr. Right, when the man starts dealing with you, these people are not going to be there for you. So one of my own principles, because if you don't have principles, you fall for anything. It is your principles that will drive your life. It is your principles that will determine the choices you make. So if one of your driving principles is that my life is my life, I am not living my life to please others, because when I'm in trouble, this person's might not be there for me. So young girls, because I know it's good that you even mentioned it, and that's why I'm also talking about. Yes, a lot of young girls, yes, a lot of girls, they are under pressure to want to get this. Let me just, I don't know if we have just one more time. Yes, I just want to say that was it last week or 2 weeks? Somebody called me and said, oh, a lady wanted to commit suicide. Maybe she was cutting herself, but so I got in touch with her. I was chatting her. Okay, what is your problem? What is your problem? Okay, the lady now told me, oh, I have financial problem. Okay, what is it? It's okay. How much do you make? She says I make 93,000 in a month. And then what about the fiance? The fiance does business. He imports things that they've had to put off their wedding because of finance. Okay, I said, oh, so how much are you looking at for the thing? He said 1 million. I said, okay, is there a way that we can cut down? So you begin to see somebody that is earning like 100,000, the spouse is importing, and it feels like because I don't. Yes, because some ladies will say, I have to do this particular wedding. My wedding must be like Instagram quality, and this and this. I must do destination wedding. I must go to Dubai. I must be like, do my wedding like nice. I must do my wedding like this and this.
All right,
why are you doing more than you can afford?
Okay, well, talking about dealing with stress, reinterpret the situation, exercise, and try to get enough sleep. Those are some of the things that we can do to deal with the stressors or the stress that we get to face. Yeah? Am I correct?
I've just practically, it's as if she's been speaking with me, because I'm so much unstable and I hope it doesn't break.
It don't break, don't worry.
But I think it's a bit more challenging to even get to handle all of these ways that you said you have to deal with stress. Because sometimes you find that I don't even have the time for the exercise.
Yeah, you have to create time. You don't need to go to the gym. You can do it in your home. Yes.
Okay.
You can buy skipping rope. You can hop on the spot.
Yes. Again, another day.
Stop making excuses. You can do it. I know you. Yes, you can do it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much for coming on the show, Dr. Kike Oyekomi, who is a consultant psychiatrist. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Moses.
All right. Well,
Precious.
And Precious, yes. This is where we wrap it up today on the show. My name is Moses Humphrey. I'm out of here. Precious is looking
Thank you
precious.
so much, baby. Thank you. I wish I could kiss you all over.
There's Corona. Don't try it.
There's Corona.
Moses is my brother in the Lord.
No. Corona does not know.
Brother in the Lord.
No.
Okay. Well, that's the show for today. The news comes up shortly, and right after that will be Metro Top 10. Sorry? No. MTN Top 10.
Top 10. Okay. Where's your mind at home, of course?
You're distracted.
All right, people. Metro 97.7 FM. The time is 12 o'clock, and it's time for the news.